If there's something I've been thinking about lately, shocking, that's usually what is the start of an episode, right? And so this has been rattling around in my head for a little while, but some things happening online have made me put two and two together, or maybe connect the dots more clearly and realize what it is. And I think it applies to health and weight loss. It applies to menopause. It applies to business, and many things in our personal and professional worlds. Frankly, I think this applies to life. And here's kind of the gist of it. And then I'm going to go in and explain. I think one of the biggest lies that we've been sold is this: that transformation should eventually start feeling easy. Not simple, that it should start feeling easy. And those are two completely different things. And I think we've blurred the lines between those two things, simple and easy, so much that we've kind of stopped being able to recognize the difference. If you've followed me for any amount of time, you have probably heard me say over and over again that I want to make this simpler for women. I want to make this journey overall much simpler for women, especially at this stage in life, right? I want to, and I do, I simplify the approach to nutrition that my clients need to take. I make their workouts simpler. I help clarify things so that they can make much simpler decisions. I make it simple for them to think about things that are happening in their body at this stage. I absolutely want to make all of this health, this journey, I want to make it all simpler. But I have never promised anyone that I can make it easy. And honestly and very transparently, I don't trust many people who do say that, who do say they can make something easy. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I have been susceptible to that alluring thought of easy myself. For example, over the past 5.5, almost 6 years now, that I've been building this full-time business since retiring, I've invested upon tens of thousands of dollars in mentors and courses and books and masterminds and you name it. And I don't regret those investments. Most of those things, people and things, most of them have taught me some valuable insights and skills. But if I'm being really honest, there have been times or even seasons when I wasn't just buying the education. I was trying to I was trying to buy certainty. I wanted to believe that the next framework or the next strategy or the next mentor I hired was finally going to give me that missing piece that I needed to get to my next goal. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I don't think this is just a business problem or a health problem at all anymore. I think this has become part of our culture. And I've been watching things online lately in different industries with different online business owners, different creators, different products. In all of these areas, I've been watching this, but underneath it all, I keep seeing the exact same promise. Somebody is always saying they have that missing thing. The hormone you just haven't balanced yet. The supplement you just haven't taken yet. The mindset you just haven't mastered yet. The morning routine you just haven't gotten your hands on and committed to yet. The manifestation practice you haven't learned yet. The strategy you haven't discovered yet. The secret nobody else knows. And if you could just find that one thing, then everything changes. I see it all the time. And now, before anybody listening to me misunderstands, I absolutely believe mindset matters. Ask the women in my mentorship. I believe your expectations matter, your confidence absolutely matters. I believe your beliefs influence your behavior. I work with clients on all of these things. I believe that optimistic people often can keep going longer, be more consistent than pessimistic people. I believe all of that is true. But somewhere along the way, we started acting like belief does the work. And that's where I think we've gotten ourselves into a whole lot of trouble. I want you to think about something. Why is it these messages are so attractive? It's not because people are stupid. It's because people are freaking tired. Women are exhausted. They're juggling careers, parents, aging parents, caretaking of parents, kids, grandkids, helping take care of grandkids. They are managing their marriage and the bills. At the same time, they're managing menopause. They're dealing with bodies that suddenly won't respond the way they used to. So, of course, the idea of an easier path sounds appealing. If someone tells you, I've figured out the missing piece, your brain almost automatically exhales with like this sigh of relief. Finally, the answer. That is that feeling and that thought, that's not weakness. That is being human, quite frankly. Our brains are wired to reduce uncertainty. We love certainty. We love shortcuts. Who wouldn't? We love stories and explanations that give us the reason for like why things have been so hard and the promise that they won't anymore. But life actually rarely works that way. And here's what I've noticed after coaching women for years and years now. My clients don't lack effort. Women who come to me, that is almost never their problem. I mean, they have done keto and intermittent fasting and Weight Watchers. They have bought and done shakes and detoxes, and they've participated in challenges, and they've bought meal plans and workout programs. They've joined this gym and that gym and quit this gym and that gym. They've started over on Monday, and they have bought all the supplements, downloaded the apps, read the books, listened to the podcast. They have typically worked really hard. So when someone tells them or you, well, you just need to try harder, I almost laugh because that's usually the last thing they need or you need. You don't need more effort, you need better direction. You don't need another list of things. You need better judgment about what on that list applies to you and how do you make it work. They don't need more information. They need someone to help them make sense of the information that is out there or that they have or the new information that they're being given. Information tells you the what. Judgment helps you decide what matters to you. And those are very, very different things. And this is a huge part of why I have become so passionate about helping women to think differently. Not because thinking necessarily replaces action, but your thinking shapes your action. Every decision you make starts with the story you're telling yourself about your body, your age, about what's possible. And so you change that thinking and you change the decisions. And if you change enough decisions, you eventually can change your life. And here's another thing that I have come to realize, and most especially as I've more recently watched what's going on online and on the internet. People confuse friction with failure. Listen to that again. People confuse friction with failure. Strength training, let me give you some examples and explain what I mean. Strength training feels awkward in the beginning, especially if you're new to it, right? If you kind of plan and prepare or do some meal prepping in advance, that can be, and it feels inconvenient. Walking when you're tired in the morning or after work, that's not very exciting. Saying no to things is not fun. Changing months, years, decades of your habits feels uncomfortable. Well, that's friction. That discomfort creates a friction in you. That friction does not mean you are failing. Sometimes it's actually evidence that you're finally doing something different. But somehow we've decided that if something feels uncomfortable, it must not be working. And that's not it at all. A lot of times, discomfort is simply the price of becoming someone new. And this is where I think I want to make one of the most important distinctions that I've ever made. Simple is not the same as easy. Yes, I want nutrition to be simple, and it can be. I want your workouts to be simple, and they can be. I want every woman I work with, I want her plan to be simple. And part of being simple is that it fits into your real life. I want you to understand your body more simply with fewer moving parts and confusing parts and less noise. But none of that guarantees easy. Simple does not remove discipline. It doesn't remove the requirement for consistency. It does not take the place of or remove patience. Simple doesn't remove showing up on the days that you just don't freaking feel like it. What simple does is it removes the unnecessary complexity of things. Because here's what I can do and I can't do. Let me put it that way. I cannot make transformation easy. I cannot. But I help you stop making it unnecessarily complicated. Two different promises. One is a fantasy, the other one is something I actually help women build. And if I'm being really frank about it, I think our culture has become super addicted to magical thinking. Not because people are foolish and get fooled easily, but because hope sells, especially hope that promises you certainty. Hope that says if you can just get your hands on this answer, everything will fall in place for you. But here's what I have learned, and I know transformation is not magical. I know that from my own journey to transformation, physical, mental, life transformation. And I know that from coaching literally thousands of women over the years. Transformation is not magical. It is so much quieter than that. It doesn't announce itself in the way that maybe we hoped that it would. It doesn't like burst through the wall like, hate that Kool-Aid guy. Hey, Kool-Aid, whatever. It's quieter. It's a normal Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's eating the protein, doing the workout. It's getting enough sleep. It's going for the walk. It's making just one better decision than another one, than another one, until you look back one day and you realize that your life has changed. And that's not because some magic happened. It's because those decisions compounded. And I think of my job that's how I really think about my job, I guess I should say. It's not to make anyone's life easier. It's to help you think more clearly. And once a woman understands what's happening and can think about it in that more clear way, she stops chasing every shiny object that comes across her feed. I know that's how it worked for me. Once I could think more clearly and break down the complexity of what was happening, once I saw the simplicity of it, I stopped chasing every infomercial, every late night buy this miracle, whatever. And I stopped believing that, and I see this in my clients all the time. They stop believing that there's somehow something inherently wrong in them or that something has broken in them. They stop starting over every Monday and they stop looking for something or someone to save them. And they actually start building a life that they can sustain. So so maybe the question I want to leave you with today in this episode is not like who or what is promising to make this easy for you, but ask yourself, who's helping me stop making it harder than it has to be? Because those are not the same question. I've never promised a woman easy. I don't I don't know how to promise easy. Life isn't easy. Menopause is not easy. Changing habits, years, decades of habits that you've practiced, that's not easy. But unnecessary complexity, that's the part we can absolutely do something about. We can stop chasing every new trend. We can stop assuming that we're like missing the one supplement or the one detox. We can stop believing that we're broken or have failed every time something doesn't work. And we can dang sure stop confusing more information with better decisions, because information tells you what information tells you, like the what about it. Judgment helps you decide what matters. And if I can help you better, like with that better judgment piece, then developing that is how decisions get better, how your habits get better, and over time, how your whole life gets better. Again, not because there's some magical answer, but because you finally stop looking for it. Hope that was helpful today. I'm seeing so much of this magical thinking promise crap online that I just felt super called to like break this down today. And I hope the way that I broke it down simplifies it for you. Thanks for being here. I always enjoy our conversations, and I'll see you right back here next time.